Good morning children. How are you all? Stay home, stay safe. Today's class we will discuss about chapter 5 in chemistry. What is the name of the chapter? It is separation of substances. What is the name of the chapter? It is separation of substances. In this chapter we will discuss about these topics. What is called mixture and methods of separation. Solid from solid and solid from liquid. How we can separate the mixtures from solid to solid and solid from liquid. And finally we will discuss about what is called solution and what are the types of solution. In general there are two types of solution. One is saturated solution and the other one is unsaturated solution. First, what is the name of the chapter? It is separation of substance. What is called substance? A substance is nothing but it is made up of one or more particles. That is called it is made up of matter. Okay, come children, let us see detailedly about this chapter. See, we can say that almost all the substances which occur in nature are in the form of mixtures. What is called mixtures? It is nothing but it contains one or more substances. If one or more substances mixed together, then that is called mixture. For example, take water and add some sugar or salt. Then it is called as mixture. That is, it contains one or more substances. And pure substances are rarely found. In general, there is no pure substances are found in the earth. It is in the form of mixtures. What is called mixtures? It contains more than one substance. Okay. The next one. Need for separation of mixture. What is the need of separation of mixture? I already told what is called mixture. It contains more than one substance. See, what is the need for separation of mixture? It is needed to remove undesirable substance. What is the need for separation of mixture? It is used to remove undesirable substance and to take out impurities. And the third point, to obtain useful compounds. So these are all the need for separation of mixtures. To remove undesirable substance, that is waste substances. To take out impurities and to obtain useful components. So these are all the need for separation of mixtures. And the next one. First one, it is to remove undesirable substance. Look at the picture. For example, small stone pieces and unwanted seed grains are removed from rice or dal before cooking. Isn't it? So it is to remove undesirable substance. This is an example of to remove undesirable substances. So small stone pieces and unwanted seed grains are removed from rice or dal before cooking. Sometimes some small stones and other grains are mixed in the rice. So before cooking we have to remove that undesirable substances. Okay, and the next one. To remove impurities. What is the second one? It is to remove impurities. The example is distilled water needed for medicines is obtained by removing impurities from water. Okay, and the third point, to obtain useful components. For proper use, various components are separated from mixture. For example, petrol, diesel, kerosene separated from petroleum. So these are all the need for separation of mixtures. Okay, and the next one. Separation of components of mixtures. The first point, substances to be separated may be solid, liquid or gas. It is in the form of solid or liquid or gas. These are the three states of matter. What are the three states of matter? It is solid, liquid and gas. So, substances to be separated may be a solid or liquid or in the gaseous form. They may have particles of different sizes. All the solid, liquid and gases are not in same size. They may be different size. And mixtures can be separated by simple methods based on difference in properties of constituents. Okay. The next topic. How we can separate solid from solid. What are all the methods used to separate magnetic separation. Okay, let us see one by one in detail. Look at this picture. Can you separate the constituents of this mixture by hand? Yes, we can separate the constituents. So, yes, we can. So, this method is called hand picking. Why? Because we can separate the particles with the help of our hands. Okay. See, pieces of stones and husks present in rice can be separated by hand. What is called husk? The unwanted or undesirable particles are called husk. Okay. So we can separate a stone and husk present in the rice with the help of our hands. So this is an example of hand picking method. And the next one. See, look at the picture. It is used for separating solid mixes. For example, if a stone is mixed with rice, both the stone and rice are solid. So we can use hand picking method to separate that rice and stone. Okay. So this hand picking method is used to separate solid from solid. See, simplest method used for separating unwanted substances from useful one. So hand picking method is the simplest method used for separating unwanted substances from useful one. Hand picking is used where we can use hand picking method means we can use hand picking method for unwanted materials present in small quantity and size, shape and color of the unwanted substance is different from useful one. Food grains like wheat, rice, pulses, etc. contain small stones and insects. So we can use this hand picking method to remove some stones and insects present in the food items like wheat, rice and pulses. So this is about hand picking method. Let us see one video about hand picking method. See the video, children.
Look at this mixture. Can you separate the constituents of this mixture by hand? Yes, we can. Where constituents of a mixture of solids are clearly distinguished due to differences in their shapes, sizes, or color, they can be easily picked and separated. Hand picking is the simplest method used for separating constituents of mixtures of solids. Have you noticed that at home, stones and other undesirable substances are separated from food grains and pulses by hand picking? Where can we use hand picking as a separation technique? Hand picking is used when unwanted material is present in a small quantity. It can be used to separate unwanted substances from useful ones. It is used when size, shape, or color of unwanted substances is different from useful ones. It is used when food grains like wheat, rice, pulses, etc. contain small stones and insects.
So this is about hand picking method where we can use this method when unwanted or undesirable materials present in the food items. For example, the stone or insects that mixed with the rice. We can use hand picking method to remove the insects and stones. So this is about hand picking method. And the next one, sieving. It is also used to separate the substances solid from solid. See, what is called sieving? It is used for separating solid components of mixes varying in sizes. See, with holes of proper size is used. See, this is the tool we can use to separate the mixes. See, with holes of proper size is used. Smaller particles can pass through the sieve while the bigger ones remain in the sieve. Look at the picture. The smaller particles are separating solid components of mixes varying in sizes. Okay. Let us see on video about sieving method. See children.
Have you noticed that undesirable materials are separated from useful ones by using sieve? Can you name the process shown here? Yes, it is sieving. Sieving is used to separate the components of a mixture which are of different sizes. When the mixture is shaken on a sieve, it allows the particles smaller than its pores to pass through it, whereas the bigger particles are left behind. Sieves of different pore size are available. The size of pores in the sieve used depends on the size of the components to be separated. For example, at the construction site, sand is separated from stones with the help of sieve with big pores. But a sieve with fine pores is used to separate bran from flour.
So this is about sieving method. In this method where we can use the sieving method, the mixes are vary in sizes. The smaller particle pass through the sieve and the bigger particles stay at the top of the sieve. So this is about sieving method. And the next method is, see, look at the picture. Can you name the process shown in the picture? What is the name of this process? See, this process is winnowing. So what is the next method? It is winnowing. Let us see about winnowing. So what is called winnowing? It is based on difference in weight of components. Farmers use this method to separate grains from husk. Look at the picture. Here a woman separate grains from husk. See, this is the husk of grain and it is a grain. So which method we can use to separate husk from grain? It is winnowing. So it is based on difference in weights of the components. Look at the picture. The husk is less in weight and the grains are more. Okay, so which method they can use to remove or separate the husk from grain? It is winnowing. Okay. See, this is the process of winnowing. First, the farmers take the mixture of grains and husk. So the mixture contains both grains and husk. The mixture is dropped from high in the presence of wind or fan. Then this is allowed in the presence of wind or fan. So there is a heavier component called almost vertically forming a heap, while lighter components, that is husk, are carried away by wind and form separate heap. So this is the process of what process? Winnowing process. Okay. See, in villages, the farmers use on basket to remove the grains and husk. What basket it is? It is winnowing basket. It can separate the grains and husk. Let us see on video about this winnowing process. See the video, children.
Of wheat. Winnowing is used to separate the heavier and the lighter components of a mixture by wind or by blowing the air. Today, in the industrial world, it is done mechanically. This method is commonly used to separate the lighter husk particles from the heavier grains. The husk particles are carried away by the wind. This process can also be carried out manually by using the winnowing fan or basket. The winnowing basket is used to separate the wheat grains from the outer husks and chaff. Winnowing can also be described as the natural removal of the fine materials from coarse and getting husk-free wheat grains.
So this is about winnowing process. The mainly this method is used to separate the grains and husk. Okay. And the next one is threshing. What is called threshing? This method is also used to separate solid from solid. See, separation of grains from stalks is called threshing. In this process, a bundle of dried stalks of grain is beaten on hard object. Look at the picture. They can take the bundle of dried stalks and they can beaten into the stone. So in this process, a bundle of dried stalks of grain is beaten on a hard object. On beating a stalks, grains fall down freely. So from this method, they can get the what? Grains from this one. So this process is called threshing. What are all the machines used for threshing is, it is paddy thresher and wheat thresher. So threshing can be done manually or by animals like bullocks or by machines. So they can easily separate the grains. In threshing process, what they can do, they can take the grains and beaten into the heavier object. So from that the grains can be separated. So this process is known as threshing. Let us recall what we have learned with the help of a video. See one video about these separation methods.
A mixture is made up of two or more substances which are mixed but not chemically united. Different substances that constitute a mixture are called constituents or components of a mixture. Fruit salad is a mixture of different fruits. You can pick the fruit of your choice very easily from the fruit salad. But what if you are asked to separate grains from the chaff? In order to separate grains from the chaff, we have to use a different technique. We need to separate the mixture into its constituents in order to remove undesirable substances and obtain useful constituents. Let us discuss the various techniques used to separate mixtures of solids one by one. Sealing is one of the most commonly used methods for separating mixtures of solids. This method is used when there is considerable difference in the size of the components of solids. Sieve, with pores of appropriate size, is used to separate the constituents of the mixture. Sieving is an act of separating small particles from bigger ones by passing the mixture through a sieve. The sieve used for sifting the flour has very small holes, which allow only very fine flour particles to pass through them. The coarse particles are left behind in the sieve. Another method used for the separation of solids from their mixture is threshing. Threshing is an act of separating the grains from the stalks. In this process, the bundle of dried stalks of grains is beaten on a hard object. On beating the stalks, the grains fall freely. The grains are then collected in the tinner. Next method of separation is winnowing. We know that grains are heavier than chaff. Therefore, in order to separate grains from the mixture of grains in chaff, the mixture is allowed to fall from a height so that the wind blows away the lighter chaff, while the heavier grains falls down. Hand picking is a very common method used for separating components of mixtures of solids. This method involves picking out substances from hand and separating them from others. The substances being separated may be undesirable substances like pieces of stones and rice. These undesirable substances are different from the rice in color and size. These substances could also be useful. For example, if you have a mixture of green and black grapes, then with the help of hand picking method, you can separate
removed. We already know that the iron material are attracted by magnet. So when iron is mixed with the sulfur means the magnet is used to remove iron from the sulfur mixture. Okay. See, look at the picture. It is an iron plus sulfur mixture. It is sulfur and it is iron fillings. How we can separate this sulfur and iron fillings from this iron plus sulfur mixture means we can use magnet to separate the sulfur and iron fillings. Why? Because by using this magnet, the iron fillings are attracted by the magnet. So we can easily separate iron from sulfur. So this method is known as magnetic separation method. Okay. See, this magnetic separation method is this technique is very useful to separate magnetic scraps from industrial waste. See, look at the picture here. They can use the magnetic separation mixer. What is the use of this? It is used to separate the magnetic scraps from industrial waste. These waste are attracted by magnet. So magnetic scraps are removed by crane equipped with powerful magnet. So see the picture. It is a crane. It contains a magnet in the here. Okay. So it can attract the unwanted iron pieces from this. So this is called a magnetic separation method. Let us see one video about this magnetic separation method. Look at the video.
Magnetic separation method is used to separate constituents of mixtures when one of the constituents is magnetic in nature. Let us understand with the help of an activity. For this, we need a magnet and a mixture. Move the magnet over the mixture. What did you observe? The magnetic material sticks to the surface of the magnet and can be easily removed from the mixture. Similarly, iron scraps are separated from the waste material by using a powerful magnet fitted on the crane. So from this activity, we can conclude that the materials which are magnetic can be easily separated by using a magnet.
So where we can use this magnetic separation method, the material that can easily attracted by magnet we can separate from the mixer. So these methods are used to separate the solid from solid mixer. Okay. And the next one. It is a quiz time for you. Look at the pictures, children. Name the processes shown in this picture. There are 4 pictures given: A, B, C and D. You have to name the processes shown in the picture. What is the name of this picture? Which method is this? It is winnowing. What method is this? It is winnowing. So winnowing is the process to separate the mixture. And this is third one is sieving and the fourth one is magnetic separation. So these methods are useful to separate solid from solid mixers. What are the methods? Winnowing, threshing, sieving and magnetic separation. Okay. The next one. See the first question. Grains are separated from husk by dash method. What method we can use to separate grains and husk? It is winnowing method. So grains are separated from husk by winnowing method. And the second one, chaff from wheat flour is separated by what method? It is sieving. Chaff from wheat flour is separated by sieving. In this method, the lighter particles goes through to the siever and the heavier particles they stay on the top of the sieving machine. So chaff from wheat flour is separated by sieving. And the third one, most appropriate method for the separation of mixtures of sulfur and iron is magnetic separation. Why? Because iron is a magnetic material. It can easily attracted by magnet. So which method we can use to separate sulfur and iron? It is magnetic separation. And the next one. liquid. Up to this we can discuss about how we can separate solid from solid mixture. Next we will discuss about separation of solid from liquid. How we can separate solid particle from liquid. Okay. See, these are all the methods used to separate solid from liquid. See, methods of separation of solid from liquid includes sedimentation and decantation. What is the first process? It is sedimentation and decantation, filtration, evaporation, condensation and churning. So these are all the methods used to separate solid from liquid. Sedimentation and decantation, filtration, evaporation, condensation and churning. Let us see detailing about this. See, what is called sedimentation? Take some muddy water in a glass tumbler. Okay, and keep this glass tumbler for 2 or 3 hours. What will happen? After a while, heavy mud particles settles down at bottom. So these mud particles are called sediment. Okay, so this process is called sedimentation. And decantation. What is called decantation? See, we can take first the muddy water in a glass tube. After some time, what will happen? The clean water, the sediment particles like mud and stones are settled down at the bottom of the glass, and the clean water, we can see the clean water here. So this process is called what? Sedimentation. The next one, decantation. What is called decantation? See, settling down of heavier particles of insoluble solid in liquid is called sedimentation. Particles that settle down in liquid are called sediment. Like for example, the mud and stones, small stones present in that muddy water are called sediment. Pouring out liquid without disturbing the sediment is called decantation. So what is called decantation? This sediment, this liquid is pouring out into the another glass without disturbing the sediment particles. So this process is called decantation. So pouring out of liquid without disturbing the sediment is called decantation. Let us see on video about this process.
Have you ever seen your mother soaks rice grains and pulses in water before cooking? She does this to separate rice grains and pulses from the insoluble solid impurities like tiny pieces of straw, dirt, insects, etc. When you add water to the rice grains, the impurities like dust and soil particles go into the water, which becomes little dirty. Now, what will sink to the bottom of the vessel, rice grains or impurities? In this case, the rice grains, being heavier, settle down at the bottom and can be separated by sedimentation, while the decantation removes the water along with the dirt particles. Let us perform the following activity to separate sand particles from a mixture of sand and water by using sedimentation and decantation. For this activity, we need sand, water, glass rod, and an empty beaker. Take a beaker filled with water. Now add some sand into it and mix them with the help of a glass rod. Leave the mixture undisturbed for some time. What did you observe? After some time, you will observe that the heavy sand particles settle down at the bottom of the beaker, which are called sediments, and the process is called sedimentation. Now, with the help of a glass rod, carefully pour the water on top into another beaker. This process is called decantation.
So this is about sedimentation and decantation. This method we can use to separate solid from liquid mixers. Okay. And the next one. What is called loading? See, sedimentation is a very slow process. In order to increase the speed of sedimentation, potash alum is added to the muddy water. So which chemical is added to muddy water? It is potash alum to speed up the process of sedimentation. See, clay particles stick to the alum and its size increases. So this phenomenon is known as loading. When the chemical potash alum is added to the mixture, the clay particle stick to the alum and its size increases. So this process is known as what process? Loading. So the heavy particles settle at the bottom of the container and are removed by decantation. So this process is known as sedimentation and decantation. And the next one. Look at the picture. Why do we need to filter the fruit juice before drinking? Why? Before drinking the juice, we have to remove all the seeds present in the fruit, no? So we can separate it. So why do we need to filter the fruit juice before drinking? Why? Why? Because fruit juices are filtered before consumption to remove seeds and pulp. The fruits contain some seeds and pulp. So to remove the seeds and pulp before going to drink the juice, we have to filter the fruit juice. So the next process is filtration. What is the next process? It is filtration. It is used for separation of fine insoluble solid particles from liquid. Filter paper or a piece of muslin cloth is commonly used as a filter. So either we can use filter paper or we can use a cloth to remove the seeds and pulp that are present in the fruits. See, fruit or vegetable juices are generally filtered with strainer to separate seeds and pulp. Cottage cheese, that is paneer, is prepared by this method at homes. So this is about filtration process. What is the procedure included in this means? Filter paper with a tiny pores folded in the form of cone and fixed in the funnel. First we have to take the filter paper and it is folded in the form of cone and fixed in the funnel. Then mixer allowed to pass through the filter paper. When the mixer is allowed to pass through the filter paper, insoluble solid particles left as residue on the filter paper, clear liquid collects as the filtrate. So this method is known as filtration method. See, this is the filter paper. Fold filter paper in half twice to make a cone for the funnel. So this filter paper is converted into funnel shape. 3 open edges on one side, 1 open on the other. And we can fit the filter paper in the funnel and we have to add the fruit mixer to this funnel. What will happen? The residue, that is the seeds and pulp Okay, so this process is known as evaporation. Let us see one video about evaporation. Look at the video, children.
Liquids are often mixtures of different things which may be solid or liquid or even gases. Let us dissolve some salt in water. Look, a clear salt solution is prepared. Now you cannot see particles of salt in the solution. If you leave the salt solution overnight, the water will evaporate, leaving the salt behind. We can speed up this process by heating the salt solution. Water will evaporate more quickly in the form of water vapor, leaving the salt behind. The process of conversion of water into vapor is called evaporation. Evaporation is used to recover soluble solid from the solution. Do you know common salt is obtained by evaporation of seawater? Seawater is tapped in the compartments. In a few days, water evaporates completely and salt gets collected at the bottom. Again, fresh seawater is tapped and the cycle continues. This is called salt farming.
So what is called evaporation? The process of the conversion of water into, that is liquid, into gaseous form is known as evaporation. Okay. The next one. See, the process of conversion of water into its vapor is called evaporation. See, this is the water. It is water body. So with the help of sunlight, this water changes into, the water is in solid or liquid or gaseous form. It is in liquid form. So with the help of sunlight, this liquid form is converted into gaseous form, that is vapor. So this transformation of liquid into gases are known as evaporation. Keep in your mind, children. Make a note. What is evaporation? It is the process of conversion of water into its vapor. Is called evaporation. Okay. For the best example of evaporation in our day-to-day life is the dry cloth. The wet clothes are dried with the help of evaporation. When the wet clothes are put in the sunlight, it is converted into gaseous form. So we can get the dry clothes. So this is an example of evaporation. The next one. The rate of evaporation increases when the temperature of surroundings increases. So the rate of evaporation increases when the temperature increases. As a result of evaporation, liquid escapes into space. So we can get the dry clothes from wet clothes. When the temperature is increases, the evaporation also increases. So only during sunny days we can get dry clothes faster. Okay. The next one. Look at the picture, children. Have you ever observed tiny droplets on the leaves of plants during early morning hours? Did you see this? See, water droplets on the leaves are due to the conversion of water vapor into its liquid form. What is the reason? It is the reason for conversion of water vapor into liquid form. So this conversion is known as condensation. So what process is it is? It is condensation. So see, formation of water from vapors on cooling or conversion of water vapor gaseous state into its liquid form is known as condensation. Don't confuse with the evaporation and condensation. Evaporation is the process, that is the conversion of liquid into gases is called evaporation, and what is called condensation? It is reverse of evaporation, that is conversion of water vapor into its liquid form is known as condensation. See, condensation can be filtered by cooling vapors. It is the main step of distillation in laboratory. When vapors coming from the kettle are allowed to pass on metal plate cooled with ice, they condense to form water droplets. Here, what is the condensation process? The water vapors are changed into water. It is called condensation process. Look at the picture. liquid form. Okay. The next one. See, look at the picture. Nina dislikes cream in milk. Can she use filtration process to separate cream from milk? She can separate cream from boiled milk by filtration, but not from the raw milk. Okay. So, what method she can use to separate the cream from milk? She can use churning method. She can use filtration method, but it is only possible for boiled milk. Okay, so which method she can use to separate the cream from milk? It is churning. See, it is used for separating lighter particles of solid suspended in liquid. It is done with hands using stirrer or mixer. Butter is obtained by churning curd. For example, we can get the butter from curd now. Which method we can use? We can use churning method. We can separate the lighter particle like butter from curd. So this method is known as churning. See, cream from unboiled milk is also obtained by churning. So we can use this method to separate cream from unboiled milk. It is a question to you children. See, look at the picture. Name the processes shown in this picture. A, B, C, D. What is the process? This process is known as filtration. So here we can use filter paper to separate the liquids. And this one is decantation. Third one, condensation. Here the vapor is converted into liquid. So this is condensation. And the last one, it is churning. So these methods, where we can use these methods, we can use these methods to separate the mixers from solid from liquid. Okay. The next one. See, the process of conversion of water into its vapor is called loading, condensation, evaporation, filtration. What is the answer? It is evaporation. So what is the conversion of water into its vapor is called evaporation. What is called condensation? It is opposite to evaporation. Okay, so what is the answer? It is evaporation. And the next one. Use of more than one technique for separation of mixers. Some mixers can be separated by using more than one technique. We can see some techniques, some methods to separate the mixers. We can use other than these methods, we can use other methods to separate the mixers. For example, mixer containing sugar, sand and water can be separated by filtration followed by evaporation. So here we can use both two methods, filtration and evaporation. Where we can use this filtration and evaporation to separate the mixer containing sugar, sand and water. Okay. The next one. The next topic is solution. So we discussed about the methods, separation methods, how to separate the mixers from solid to solid and from solid to liquid. And the next topic is solution. What is called solution? Solution is nothing but a mixture of solid dissolved in liquid. A mixture of solid dissolved in liquid is known as solution. For example, take 1 glass tumbler and take 50 ml of water and add some sugar or salt to this water. What will happen? It completely dissolved in water. So now it is called as a solution. So a mixture of solid, it may be a sugar or salt dissolved in liquid. Liquid here water. So a mixture of solid dissolved in liquid is known as solution. See, this is the water, this is sugar. Now when we add these two particles means it completely dissolved in this no. So this now it is known as sugar solution. Okay, if we add salt here means we can say that as salt solution. The solution consists of two particles. One is solute and the another one is solvent. So components of solution present in lesser amount is called solute. For example, we can make sugar solution means we can take more water and less amount of sugar, isn't it? So Next one, aqueous and non-aqueous solution. In general, aqueous means it contains water. See, an aqueous means pertaining to water. The solution in which the solvent is water is called an aqueous solution. If we take water as a solvent means then it is called aqueous solution. The solution in which the solvent is other than water is called non-aqueous solution. If we take water as a solvent means it is aqueous solution. For example, in the sugar solution we can take water as a solvent and sugar as a solute. So it is an example of aqueous solution. Instead of water we can take other solution as a solvent means it is non-aqueous solution. In general, the other commonly used solvent is alcohol. Instead of water they can use alcohol as a solvent. If it contains alcohol as a solvent then it is called as a non-aqueous solution. Okay. It is a question for you children. See the first one. Substance present in lesser amount in solution is known as, what is it? It is solute. So the substance present in lesser amount in solution is known as solute. In general, the solution consists of two particles. One is solvent and the other one is solute. If it contains a less amount means that is called solute. If it is more means that is called solvent. So what is the answer? It is solute. And the second one, the solution in which the solvent is water is called aqueous solution. So we can take here water as a solvent. So it is aqueous solution. If we take alcohol as a solvent means it is non-aqueous solution. And the third one, a solution in which more solute can be dissolved at a certain temperature is a saturated or unsaturated solution. It is unsaturated solution. Okay. The next one. Let us see this chapter. See, mixes are formed by mixing two or more substances in any ratio. We already know that a mixer is it is a mixture of one or more substances. A mixture in which components are evenly distributed called as homogeneous mixture. A mixture is divided into two groups. One is homogeneous mixture and the other one is heterogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture means it can dissolve completely. We cannot see the solute particle. For example, a sugar is mixed with water, it is completely dissolved. So it is distributed evenly. So it is called as a homogeneous mixture. What is called heterogeneous mixture? It cannot evenly distributed. For example, take some water and add some chalk powder or sand to that water. Is it dissolved completely in that water? No, we can see the boundaries, isn't it? The sand particles are settled down at the bottom. So that is called heterogeneous mixture. So a mixture in which the components are not evenly distributed is called heterogeneous mixture. And components of solid mixture can be separated by what methods we can use to separate? Hand picking, winnowing, sieving, threshing and magnetic separation method. Okay, and the next one. Components of solid liquid mixture can be separated by filtration or evaporation, condensation, churning, sedimentation and decantation. So these methods we can use to separate solid from liquid. And choice of method used in separation of substances depends upon the properties of solid and liquids. A mixture of solid dissolved in liquid is known as solution. What is called solution? A mixture of solid that dissolved completely in the water, that is liquid, is known as solution. Substance present in lesser amount in a solution is known as solute and the substance present in larger amount is called solvent. So a solution consists of two. One is solute and the other one is solvent. The solute particle present in lesser amount and the solvent particles present in more amount. So in this chapter we discussed about the mixers and the methods, separation methods of mixers and solution and the types of solution. What are the types of solution? Saturated, unsaturated, aqueous and non-aqueous solution. It is a time for your homework, children. Note down your homework. one words. Okay, do the homework children. We will meet in the next class. Thank you children.